What is up, Ty? How you doing, bro?
Yo, yo, Eric, yo, yo, breadheads. Welcome to another episode of Think Fresh podcast.
Oh man, we have a fantastic episode today with a new guest, and yeah, stick around till I don't know a little bit later to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. But we're going to get into that soon. But first, we got to get into even more pressing news, which is what did Eric do for Valentine's Day?
um, what didn't I do on Valentine's Day? I had a nice activation at a modern Chinese restaurant here in Vancouver. Have you been to Bao Bay?
Of course, I've been to Balboa. I love posting up at their bar,
Oh,
have a
dude,
little dumpling action.
absolutely. Their bar is actually really fun. It reminds me of the Tanto bar,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because it's nice and wide. You can have a full dinner there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also observe like the random shenanigans around you. There's
Mm-hmm.
always lots of interesting things to see at the Bao Bay bar, the
Mm-hmm.
Bao Bar.
The Bao bar. And I do like being posted up nearby a door in case I need to flee at any moment, but also just keep an eye on who's coming and who's going, you know?
Mhm.
I like to think of myself as like the dark knight of every restaurant, perched in the corner, watching the scenes unfold.
Absolutely. You can also see your parked car outside, which is always handy in Chinatown.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure no one's going near the whip.
Yeah. But anyways, funny enough, I actually booked a table there, and then they contacted me being like, "Yo, just so you know, it's Valentine's Day, so we have an hour and a half limit on tables. But if you want to sit at the bar instead, you can stay as long as you want."
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do." So we moved our 6 p.m. nice and bright and early rezo to
Mm,
the bar, and yeah, two guys were already shit faced at 6 p.m. sitting next to us.
they're
So that's how my night went.
dude, yeah, the lonely Valentine going to the 6 p.m. rezo with the boys.
I think it literally was that. I think it was like two boys who um, didn't have dates or maybe just single and enjoying each other's company.
Mhm.
Thought they might be gay at first. You know what I mean? Was kind of sussing them out.
It's a gay coded situation, but what was the outcome of that?
Well, okay, the biggest thing that made me think they were gay was they were doing bone marrow shots together.
Oh, sick.
They had the bone marrow, which they shared, obviously, and then were pouring VSOP down it into each other's mouths. I was like, oh, there's for sure a relationship here. But then I guess the conversation steered in a different direction. So the assumption kind of went away. But yeah, I guess it was a good time. They were curious about our tempura mushrooms.
How were they?
I think my favorite thing we ordered. It was so garlicky.
Dude,
And we had a bar activation after where I was talking so close to the waitress's face because it was loud. And I was like, wow, I feel so bad for her right now. I'm like destroying her nostrils.
yeah, dude. Yeah, you need the defogger on that. I have tasted those tempura mushrooms, and I gotta
Oh,
say
fuck yeah.
those things go so hard.
Oh,
Like
dude.
I'm craving one of those right now. I'm in my salty season. More on that later.
Yeah, dude. They almost made me go vegan. I swear to God.
Oh man, they're
I
just so
was,
chewy.
I was like, fuck, these are so good.
Well, I'm really glad that you got to have a day where you could share some love with somebody. And it doesn't matter on Valentine's Day who you're with and what you're doing, as long as you're around people you care about. So it's really good to see other people doing that too.
Absolutely. How was your evening? What did you get up to?
Oh, dude, I had a lovely evening. I like to do this. This is a cool move where you light a bunch of candles in your house. Okay. You always want to treat yourself on a special day. And I've been treating myself to eating out so frequently, as this podcast knows, that I thought I'd invert it this year and treat myself by staying in and having a home
Oh,
cooked meal.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we turned it into a classy affair, you know. I made a couple French 75s for me and Boo.
Mm,
Let the lights dim some and Drake voice. And then also, yeah, candlelit affair.
yeah.
Put together a little like I feel like when you want to go like fancy at home, you follow into the like traditional fine dining tropes of like protein, carb, vegetable plated side by side. And I was a victim of that too, that dogma.
I mean, fair enough. Like when you do a special date night at home, especially for like a Hallmark holiday like Valentine's Day,
Mhm.
you really have to bring your A game. You know what I mean? You can't just cook chicken and rice and be like, "Happy fucking Valentine's Day, babe." You fucking bitch.
Yeah,
You know what I
totally.
mean? Like you have to, do the candles obviously.
Mhm.
I appreciate the fact that you had the cocktail program up and running. Lots of good food. dessert, perhaps. Like, you need
Mhm,
to really bring all the stops,
mhm.
and sounds like you did that.
Dude, yeah, it has to be a multi-course affair for sure. Like, this ain't no girl dinner. This is V-Day dinner, you know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
but I have a struggle, Eric, because all of my favorite vegan meat alternatives are going out of business. They're not surviving inflation. There's no demand. No one wants to eat, like, factory-made fake vegan ribs.
Yeah. I mean, no one did before,
I
to be
guess not.
fair, so it was doomed to fail.
Right. But when you kind of plan a whole meal around being able to pick those up at a grocery store, and after 3 grocery stores, you Google the brand and they're
Mhm.
bankrupt or gone away, and every
Yeah.
other one is too, makes you wonder.
Well, okay. I actually saw a, like, Yahoo Finance video last night where it was like all DTC brands are just done. Like, they've all failed, basically. Like, I don't know if you've seen Casper's stock recently.
Ah,
It's
shit.
literally like 3 cents. Like,
Interesting.
they've all gone away. And I think it's the market, but also I don't think people give a shit anymore.
Right. People suddenly realize that maybe their identity can't be, projected via their mattress or their,
Yeah.
like, simulation sausage.
Yeah, graphic design can only do so much for a
Mhm.
company. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It has to have a good product and, like, history that goes a long way, you know what I mean? Experience.
Yeah, well, there's kind of this like millennial myth that existed for a long time, which is that there is an objectively there's an objectively best product to solve any problem. And Casper kind of was the first company to do that. Like, we're going to make objectively the best mattress at the best price to solve the problem of owning a mattress.
You're about to disrupt sleep.
We're changing sleep forever. And then I think like maybe the millennials stop falling for that. You know, they're like maybe that actually isn't the narrative anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, I can see us, 5 years ago being like, "Babe, I made you this impossible burger that we're gonna eat on our, Sunday's furniture chairs, and then
Mhm.
go, you know, do something in our Casper mattress afterwards."
A little Casper activation on Valentine's Day.
Exactly. It's on the
Ch
menu listed as, like, Casper dessert.
It's
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the brands thing has to go, you know what I
gotta
mean?
go.
It's, the DTC, direct to consumer route is not working out
So
anymore.
what's gonna replace it then? What's left?
Big box brands, baby.
The, Whole Foods 365 is back on the menu. That's what I ended up eating for dinner was some
Oh.
365, vegetarian pot pie, which
Oh, nice.
honestly totally slapped.
Very nice. Did you wait, so was that from scratch, or, like, how did that work?
It, like, gets prepackaged in, like, the pie section.
Hold on, for Valentine's Day, you did a frozen pie?
It wasn't frozen, dude, it was refrigerated, give me a break.
Damn, okay. So you did a TV dinner on Valentine's Day, and you were like, "Hey, babe, we'll smoke a pack of Newports after."
Okay. Yes, okay, I see how it could be perceived that way, but I need you to understand that we light candles. I played romantic jazz music
You
on
played Vultures
Spotify.
1 on
Yeah,
Spotify with
unfortunately, there's,
ads.
yeah, a few remaining tracks in the queue that popped in mid-meal, but that's okay, Back to Me's pretty good.
Damn, that's pretty cool, man. What was Bae's reaction?
Honestly, I think we both had a great night. I think
That's
it's
good.
all about expectation setting, and we thought maybe the night was ruined when we couldn't find our vegan steak, but,
Oh,
uh, the Whole Foods came through, and, D2C's out.
well, that is actually really nice for you to treat it as, like, a group project, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? That really is the equal way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it takes the
Um,
pressure off.
exactly, it shouldn't be about the man trying to impress the woman every
Mhm.
time. Um, so when it's a group project, that's actually really nice, and then it absolves you of any bad, mistakes that could happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
Say the wine store runs out of wine, it's on you now, you know?
Mhm. I don't like that kind of responsibility on my shoulders,
No.
especially on a day that could be fraught with disappointment if one little thing goes wrong, you know?
Mhm,
It's like making somebody else a Subway sandwich. There's just too many variables that can go wrong. It's
mm,
probably as complicated as building a Boeing aircraft, you know?
mhm.
One screw goes loose and the whole thing's ruined.
Yeah. This actually makes me respect tasting menus a lot more because, like, chefs have to like look you up and down and be like, they want the gooey duck today. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like they have to make some really risky decisions. And sometimes they'll ask what you like, but other times they kind of just, get to cooking and that could go really bad.
Totally. They're like looking at Eric and they're thinking like, can this guy handle our progressive take on the zucchini, or should we just skip to course 4?
Spoiler alert, I won't want to handle that. Take
No,
it away.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, anyways, let's not waste any more time, unless you have anything else you want to get out
No,
before we jump
dude.
into this interview.
Yeah, we got a great guest joining us in just a minute here. We'll introduce him as we get in here, but enjoy. It's going to be a fun conversation. All right, welcome to Think Fresh Podcast. We're joined today by Zach Schiffman, a writer, digital producer, and as he says on his personal site, unfortunately, a comedian. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm perfect. Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess. Maybe I should not say that anymore. I've been saying that for a while because it's like, but I guess no. I mean, like, that's a humiliating thing to say you are. It's like,
I mean,
no one is a comedian. Like, Dave
well,
Chappelle's the only comedian, I guess.
yeah, true. I mean, I had a chuckle when I read that because we also refer to ourselves as unfortunately podcasters,
Yeah,
which is like,
Right.
I feel like our industries share that in common a little bit,
It's
of
got a bad
self-hate.
reputation.
I so many because I was recently, and by recently this could have been years ago. I was like, why don't people who have like, why does everyone have to say podcast? You could just say talk show. Like that is sort of like a square rectangle situation. Like you don't have to say podcast. You make we have a talk show about Subway. Yes, it's delivered as a podcast. Anyway,
I never thought about that. Talk shows have so much more credibility.
but that also maybe sounds bad. Doesn't matter.
If we wait till the evening to record, we could call it a late night show.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, we put out our episodes pretty late in the day, so I guess we're kind of like, I don't know, we're catching the commuters, I guess, in
Are
some
you
way.
guys Canadian?
We are, yeah.
We are. Wow, how'd you pick up on
I
that?
knew. I'm a genius. I knew it immediately.
And you are currently based in New York, isn't that correct, Zach?
Yes, I'm in New York.
Very
So
nice.
we got to ask you, like, are you hitting the New York subway, not the train system, but the sandwich institution at all these days?
I honestly don't think it's that big in New York City. Like I'm trying to like when you guys asked me, I was like, where is the closest subway to me? I didn't Google it. Again, I did no preparation at all, but I have no idea. I literally do not know where the closest subway is to me.
Do you know where the closest train station is?
Certainly, yeah, that I do know.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Subways are like
They just
spiked.
opened a Wetzel's Pretzels inside my subway station.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Which I thought found weird.
It maybe seems weird on the surface. We're very familiar with deep Subway lore at this point. Subway just came out with these really big pretzels that you can kind of eat. They're like a foot long pretzel, if you will.
But I would love that.
Yeah. Perhaps they had to
Wait.
like make a careful acquisition in order to bring that to market.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Subway has terrible SEO in New York. Like I'm looking right now, you search Subway, it tries to get me the train.
Oh, that's too bad. Their biggest competitor isn't even in the same industry.
Okay, I do know where the closest one is to me. I found it. I do know where this one is.
It's probably
I've
closer
never
than-
been.
Yeah. How many blocks?
This is probably a 20-minute walk.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's right by the courthouse. So
if you're like really hungry, you might want to make
right.
that.
Mm-hmm. What, if you don't mind sharing, where in New York are you? Are you in like Manhattan or?
I'm in Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm in Park Slope, Brooklyn. So the closest one to me is near the downtown Brooklyn courthouse.
Oh, okay,
Gotcha,
nice.
Gotcha.
Very nice. Cool. So, how was your Valentine's Day?
Whoa, hard pivot.
It was fine. My boyfriend was out of town on a work trip, so I went to dinner. I honestly ended up getting sort of to be an amazing friend because I got to go to dinner with my friend who was recently dumped and all my single friends. And so I was like, yeah, I'm actually not engaged with Valentine's Day. I'm going to be a good friend because my boyfriend was on a work trip. But it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. As long as you're just around people that you appreciate. Like,
Absolutely.
I tried to get Eric to go to Subway with me on Valentine's Day, but he was unfortunately too booed up.
Whoa. They're open on Valentine's Day? You'd think it'd be a national, or, well, I guess Canada has different holidays.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, I feel like there's the Venn diagram of
sandwich artists and single people are like the same group. So they don't have anything to do today. They have a very employable workforce on the 14th.
Right. Well, are you guys gonna do a makeup Valentine's Day there?
Yeah, we probably should. Hey, split a foot long, 6 inches each.
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe that's overdue after this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't go to your local way, but you have eaten there before. Because we were originally intrigued by you, Zach, because you clearly know your way around food. You are very well established in the culinary arts of sorts, and have many reflections on it that we find intriguing. So you have walked through those doors. You've seen the green and yellow logo. You've smelt the bread, I'm sure.
Yes. I have eaten Subway, not in New York. I feel like the only thing I like from Subway is do they still have teriyaki?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That to me sounds awesome. I feel like chicken teriyaki sandwiches have sort of fallen out of fashion because or at least like Americanized teriyaki is like not as like popular as it was. Maybe how old are you guys? There's no way to know. My guess. Do you want me to guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sure.
29.
Whoa. You guessed my exact age,
dude. Eric
really?
turned 29 just a few days ago. Yeah. He's fresh.
And how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, yeah, I would have guessed you were older.
Damn it!
Wow, really?
But
I didn't.
But when we were growing up, I'm a little younger than you guys, but like when we were growing up, like I feel like you could get like chicken teriyaki, like chicken teriyaki sandwiches. Like, do you remember those chains at the mall? Well, again, you're Canadian, so there's literally no way to know if there's overlap. But you know the chains at the mall that would like have like a big like chicken teriyaki sandwich with cheese on it. Mm-hmm. There was one that was called like Philadelphia sandwich or something like that.
Oh yeah, it was peak teriyaki. Like teriyaki was making it was first wave teriyaki in America, I think.
And now teriyaki, I feel like has to be pure. Like I feel like teriyaki now is going to be like some sort of like faithful representation, and it's like no, I want like Americanized Seattle teriyaki. I mean, well, have you guys ever been to Seattle?
Of course,
yeah. We're actually on the West Coast.
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah, the West Coast of Canada.
Vancouver in Canada.
Yeah. Vancouver, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out where that is. There's no now. I'm like the map is in my head. But and when I went to Seattle, the first meal I had there was a teriyaki meal. It was the most amazing thing. I ended up going and getting teriyaki 4 times in my for 3 days there.
Hell yeah!
So I was like, I only want to eat this. So where did I was? Oh, so I was drawn to the teriyaki at Subway.
I guess you could say it was the golden brown days of teriyaki back then.
Yes, exactly.
I think, maybe society became slightly more cultured and the American teriyaki fell off as a result of that. Or perhaps it just changed shape and now you get the teriyaki in bowl form. You can find that quite a bit. But not in the sandwich.
No, there was a really good bowl place in New York called Glazed Teriyaki that now I think is out of business. But like, a teriyaki bowl, I'm telling you, I think we are in a teriyaki recession. It's gonna come back. It's this is my big trend prediction. You guys are getting this first. Teriyaki is gonna have a comeback. American chicken teriyaki, and of course beef, and salmon, whatever of the sure vegetable. I don't care. Is gonna have a comeback. But a chicken teriyaki sandwich is so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. I'm working on a new video for work. For New York Magazine, about a restaurant that's very sceney and strange, and the menu and basically the gist with this restaurant is it's there's a club in the basement, and then it's a restaurant on the first floor and then a club in the basement. But the club is only open 2 days a week, and all these wannabe people go and get reservations at this terrible restaurant, thinking that they can they're going to get escorted to the club after. It's they make 10 p.m. reservations at this terrible restaurant on a Tuesday, eat this terrible food, and then find out the club is closed, essentially. That's sort of the deal with it.
Buying floor tickets for the weekend and hoping you're going to get pulled backstage.
Right, exactly. There's no... and so they did one of the things I had there, and they say it's farm to table. That, of course, that doesn't mean anything. There's no one checking. There's not an agency for that.
We know
there's no way to know.
All food
right. There's literally no way. Also, in theory, of course, there's literally no way to know. I'm sure it came on from FedEx on a plane. But they had it's sort of like a chicken teriyaki. It wasn't like a cutlet, and it was sort of like grilled chicken teriyaki at this like nice restaurant. It was easily $40 for sure. And it was just like grilled chicken teriyaki and fries. And that actually was the best thing I ate at this bad restaurant. But because I was like, this is awesome. No one is doing this.
Okay,
Yeah, dude.
So can you describe to me like what is like the playing field here? So like it's the best thing at this shitty restaurant. How good is it? How would you rate this chicken teriyaki with fries combo?
Like,
I mean, honestly, I honestly enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely like something that like you would not order at a restaurant that you are having like a nice drink at. Like it was like I would definitely not choose to order this anywhere else, but I was thrilled to see it. And I sort of do like the combination of chicken teriyaki and fries. Like then, because that's awesome. Like being able to dip the fries in the teriyaki. I think that's gonna be delicious.
Want to move?
Yeah, it's kind of like a appropriated poutine, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is like perfect drinking food as well. So like if they are maybe on Friday and Saturday escorting people into the club afterwards or politely suggesting they go check it out, that's actually a perfect setup, right? Like you have a beer and some fries and chicken, and then you have like 7 more shots downstairs.
The ultimate pre-drink is teriyaki.
I disagree. I think I was thinking that about this place because I was like the food was sort of heavy. Like it was like a really overdressed Caesar salad. So gross. All love to them though. But and then a burger that I thought was fine. Actually, not fine. It was like kind of not good. And then it was like, but it was like everything was heavy. Even the salad was heavy. And so I was like, if I was like going down to like a club, I wouldn't want to be so full. Like having a meal like that, it's like you want to just like have a couple of drinks after, I guess. But you don't want to like be standing. You don't want to be like in a crowded hot club when you're like so full from like not good food, you know.
True, you don't want to be bloated. I guess like the ideal pre-club meal is something similar to keto because you want high
It's like
protein.
sushi, I think.
Yeah, but sushi burps can be a little weird, you know. And if you're jumping up and down, you don't want to accidentally pepper spray the whole room with some fish breath. It's a tricky one. I'm not really sure what the perfect club food is. I want to say it's just like a steak.
I think it's like cocaine. Like I think it's like not eating. Like
that's probably why that's the most.
Yeah. It's like Adderall. Like there's
I mean, even to your point, like empty stomach, one drink and you're having a good time. You know what I mean?
Of course. When I was in college, I used to take. I realized later on that I was addicted to Sudafed. But I was addicted to Sudafed because I had oversized tonsils. You don't need to know this information, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I had oversized tonsils, and so I was sick all the time. And so I was taking Sudafed like every day. I think I will die young because my liver is like not good from that. But if you take Sudafed, you get drunk off one drink, and I'm already pretty small anyway. So I like had the lowest tolerance in the world because I was taking so much Sudafed. So maybe Sudafed is the good pre-drink thing.
Hell yeah.
You're mixing drugs over there.
Yeah.
I gotta ask though, like, does bigger tonsils give you a better bite?
I never thought about that.
Like you're this. You could see this as a superpower.
It did change my life though. No, I don't know if it because I don't know.
I would love bigger tonsils. Sometimes
I honestly think I can swallow food faster.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I tap out at like
I think I can.
10th or 11th inch of a sandwich, and I want to hit the whole foot long.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
That's impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of sandwiches, you had a recent article where you checked out the Beam at Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, great article.
There was this probably like 100 episodes ago or something. We talked about the male urge to eat lunch on a steel beam. You literally got to do that, which is like
that's so funny. The male urge to eat lunch on a steel beam.
Like I think it's within all of us.
It
you know
is,
what I mean?
yeah.
So
of course.
what was that experience? How did it feel being up there and eating that? I think it was like an egg muffin or something.
Mm-hmm.
It felt fine. Ultimately, it was pretty cold up there, and I also was like, I do feel a little guilty because I was given like special permission to eat on that beam. Like you're not supposed to eat on there, and so I sort of feel like it's like dishonest because I feel like people read that thinking that they could go do that, and I'm like, no, I'm different. But it did feel good. It was insanely windy. Like you would have to have like this was like a pretty flimsy little egg sandwich on a little biscuit. Not a biscuit, a brioche. But I feel like you would need a pretty stringy. Also, you wouldn't want something wet. Like it was kind of wet. And so then I like kind of like got shit on my jeans.
Yeah.
So I feel like you'd want like a dry, sturdy sandwich.
Yeah, real hardworking man's blue collar sandwich, like bread, salami,
Yeah, dude.
and that's it. You
No,
know what I
no
mean?
vegetables, no sliders.
But thick semolina bread. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like if food lands on your lap, it's also landing on, poor pedestrians on the ground floor who are walking underneath the construction site, right? Like when they say, caution men working above, it's what they're talking about. They don't want lettuce landing in their head.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true.
Dude, I didn't realize though, like how many ergonomic considerations are into the beam meal. Like you get like it's not going to be like, oh, Steven brought soup again. Like keep him off the beam. There's such a limited set of applicable meals for that situation, and
It's
the men
windy.
before us had to like probably think about that, or their housewives at home had to figure out how to like keep them entertained with a different form of sandwich every day. That was probably where sandwich innovation was really happening at the time, actually, because this is eating on a steel beam is pre-Subway, it's pre-fast sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But not to push trouble, but that picture is fake.
Yes,
that picture was
did see
staged.
that,
yeah,
I saw that in your article, and I wanted to ask you about that. How do you know it's staged, and why would they stage something like that?
So it was staged as like it's sort of like I don't know what they were getting out of it, but it was staged to be like advertisement for the build, like for the development that they were building at Rockefeller Center. So like they like took this cool image to be like, look at this amazing thing we're building in New York City. I feel like that was also like the era of like we can build amazing things, and I feel like included in that was like, look at these hardworking men building this amazing thing back from the war, eating a sandwich, And so I think it was supposed to be like these hardworking men taking a break, and then these hardworking men are going to give you the place that we now film the Today Show, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
That photo was actually taken at Rockefeller?
Yes, it was taken when they were constructing it. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Damn. Dude, you can't believe anything you read online or see online because
no.
Influencers have been trying to dupe us ever since the newspaper was invented.
Mm-hmm. It's funny enough. I actually, my very, very first job in high school I was working at this grocery store here in Canada called Save On Foods. And in the bathroom above the urinal, they had that photo just like framed. And I would stare at it every time I'm taking a piss at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, what are they trying to tell me with this photo? Like, are they telling me to like hurry up and get back to work?
That feels so, but also there's something that's so like, something so like weirdly parallel of like men on a line. You know what I mean? Like a line of men. It's like, is it telling you to eat lunch while you piss?
Mm-hmm.
It's like
sort
hurry
of
up
like that's
before
right.
you have harder jobs,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't know how easy you got it.
Exactly. Yeah, be grateful for your $11 an hour.
Wow. Kind of a weird, like a very subliminal propaganda happening there.
Your minimum wage, was that minimum? Wait, when you were in high school, it was $11 an hour.
Yeah, and that was like competitive for like high
wow.
school. Yeah.
When I was in high school, I worked at Sunglass Hut. Do you have that in Canada?
Oh hell yeah!
To me, I'm like, you don't. The only brand you have in Canada is now Subway and McDonald's. Obviously not. That's true. But I worked at Sunglass Hut and I made $7 something an hour. But then I also got commission, which was lucky.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that was
more sense.
Mm-hmm. But you got to remember, in Canada, we're basically socialist, and we have no other. Our currency is not as strong, so that's a very equivalent wage.
Okay, good to know.
Damn.
Absolutely. So okay, browsing your archive, I stumbled on the steel beam. It's crazy. Like jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, but anyways, that's beside the point.
Right.
You also have a ton of articles about getting into really difficult to get in restaurants, and it seems like you get off on making it into these establishments without a rezzo.
Other take. I think he likes the rejection.
Or you like?
I think you live for the rejection. But we got to know what side you actually.
Wait. Why do you think? Wait, I want to know why you guys think either way.
Okay, Eric.
Well, because I relate to it. I like to be more spontaneous personally when I'm going out for dinner. Like I used to live in the city here in Vancouver, and it was really fun to just finish work and be like, okay, what are we doing? Let's go check out this highly rated restaurant or this other really popular one. I feel like rezo culture has kind of killed that a little
Is that
bit.
what your call is Rezo?
Yeah,
Is that
like
what the app is called?
like reservation.
No, just
Oh, you just say Rezo for short?
exactly. Yeah, you don't do that.
Oh, I feel like we would say Rez, just Rez, or
But
the
that's
app
even
is called Rezi. But I feel like we would say Rez. Like if we were saying something short, I'd be like, I got a Rez.
Huh.
That feels more highbrow,
Yeah.
and I kind of like.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay, like Rez. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's such a good point. We only ever say rezo here. Maybe, yeah.
I'm learning so much. This is ultimately this podcast has been incredible for me so far.
I'm super glad to hear that.
I'm learning a lot too. We're officially a bi-coastal podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's kind of like why I relate to it. I'm curious why you think he likes the rejection. Is that kind of like a masochistic kind of vibe?
No, it's not any kind of kink or anything. I think what it is, here's what I think it is. I think you're chasing a story. And if you get into the restaurant, that's the narrative everybody expected. That's the narrative that is predictable. But there's a spontaneity with if you get rejected, what will happen next? How will this story end? And I think both the audience and the protagonist crave that roller coaster journey. Boom.
I think my ideal, honestly, is somewhere in the middle. When the ones that I've gotten seated right away, to me, that's been a bummer because it's like, well, then, like, what's the story? The story is like you can stop. I mean, not to be like keep you on the platform, whatever, but it's like that's the end of the story. Like, obviously, you've gotten what you need to know, which like does prove a point that like these places are all being bogus with like their reservation apps and everything like that, and you actually can show up. So the places that I've gotten in right away, that does feel like, at least for the video's sake, a letdown. Obviously, for the consumer, maybe not as much. But also, I never thought I would actually get rejected. Like Carbone was the only one where I was like maybe. And there's a few restaurants in the city where like I knew I would for sure get rejected just because of like the way these places are, the way they're like physically laid out, where there's nowhere for you to walk in, things like that. Like Fort Charles, a few like tasting menu places. Like I obviously can't walk into anywhere like that because they just don't have the capacity, and that also
we're
like,
mid-tasting.
It would be like rude to the staff. It's like the staff has to plan at a restaurant like that. Like it's rude. But no, I also like, to me, the whole point of it was that like to prove that all these things were bogus. And so to me, the ideal was like they say 4 hours, it's actually 1, because 1 is reasonable. 1 is like,
yeah, you're kind of.
There also is the other thing is though that like I think that people don't. I think that app culture and like reservation apps and things like that make people think they shouldn't wait at all. And to me, that's also stupid. It's like, no, I think we should all live in a world where like you have to wait 30 minutes to an hour to get a table at a restaurant, and I think we will all be happy. Like that, restaurants are built for that. Like you get a drink, and then you're seated 30 minutes to an hour later. It's not a big deal. Like restaurants should have space for you to stand when you're waiting, get a drink. They'll make more money that way because you'll get more drinks. Like when I went to Teriyucky, I thought it was genius that they had that little standing bar area because they got so much money out of me while I was waiting. Like I got an appetizer there. I got a drink. I probably got 2 more. I was drunk by the end. I like got 2 more drinks there than I would have if I hadn't stood and waited and had like a designated place to stand and wait.
Right. It's
Absolutely.
like the restaurant equivalent of a gift shop.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's totally true. I've experienced that a few times where you even like can stand outside with like a glass of wine. Like I think in Italy they would.
Yeah, that's lovely.
You know what I mean? So there's like an hour-long lineup of people, but they're like coming around with a Square card reader and they're taking payments for like a little drink here and there. But you know what's funny? Actually, when I was in New York like 5 years ago, I went to Carbone and I was also rejected. And I felt like we could maybe trauma bond over that a little bit because I was like, man, maybe I can just get into this nice place. It was on everyone's recommendation list.
Yeah, you even wore your designer that night. There's no reason they shouldn't have rejected you.
I wore my...
What designer?
At the time, probably my Amiri jeans. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you would have worn.
But the bouncer laughed at me as well. And I thought that was like it made me want to go even more. You know what I mean? I'm curious if you share the same.
Well, that's the only reason the restaurant's no. I disagree. It's the only reason the restaurant's popular is because they do that. You know, like if they started letting people in, then it's not Carbone anymore. Then it's just another Italian restaurant in a neighborhood with a bunch of other better Italian restaurants. You know.
Yeah, so they're the Hermes of New York Italian dining.
Right. You got to know someone to get the Birkin rigatoni.
It makes a lot of sense.
Dude. And
there's much better places down the street.
Yeah, of course. And it's the same case with Subway. There's better sandwich shops, but you got to work a little bit to get that sandwich. You know, you got to collaborate with another human. You got to lay the cheese and the meat and the tomatoes together.
Wait, well, do you guys have? Okay, well, I was interested in this because I do like. There are sub sandwich chains that I like. I love Potbelly. Do you guys have that?
No, never heard of it.
Wait, what's it called?
Potbelly.
Potbelly.
Pot.
No, we don't have that. What's the deal with Potbelly?
I think it's a Midwestern thing because I'm from Chicago originally, and it's and I think it started like Indiana, but it's like whole thing is that the sandwiches are sort of toasty. They toast the bread. They go through a big thing.
Hell yeah.
They're a little slimmer than Subway. The bread is a little crustier. They have an amazing chicken salad. They have really good milkshakes, and they put those little cookies that are like a flower with a hole in the middle on the straw. They have very good cookies. But they have, and it's really good. It's like it's cheap. It's good. You can get them like big. They have them as bigs or smalls instead of like 6 inch or foot long. They have like bigs or smalls.
Mm-hmm. I like that measurement system better.
I know.
Me personally,
Potbelly was pretty big when I was growing up, and then we also had Jimmy John's. Do you guys have that?
Oh yeah,
we do.
Yeah. Jimmy John's is like nothing. Like Jimmy John's has like 5 options, but there's something nice about simplicity.
Jimmy John's feels like my fridge. You know, you open the door and there's only 5 options.
Right.
Do you guys have Quiznos over there?
Quiznos, I think so. Is that? Oh, I'm thinking of Qdoba. Yeah, I think we have Quiznos.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Subway in that they like physically, just on appearance base, they look very similar. However, you don't really get to customize too much. Kind of just pick from a menu, and then I think there's a few options here and there. But I would say here in Canada, they're probably the biggest opposition to Subway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever had Quiznos ever. Yeah, sir. I'm actually definitive on that. I don't think I've ever had it.
You got to draw a line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah. Do you guys only eat Subway, or do you also like other small places you like in?
We're gonna be real with you, Zach. Even at 300 episodes, we don't really like Subway.
Yeah, of course. So you have to assume.
No one truly enjoys Subway. There might be a twisted, guilty pleasure feeling at the end of a club night, or maybe at the end of a long shift working on the steel beams.
It feels like a little freaky. It feels like, ooh, we're breaking some rules if we go here. Like people,
right. Like church and state.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like being an investigator. It's like you can't, if you report on crypto, you shouldn't own crypto.
Mm-hmm. Conflict.
Like that thing about how Michael Lewis wrote that book about crypto, but then you found out that he owned a bunch of crypto, that sort of thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're not shareholders in Subway. I don't know if you can be, but if we were, we would definitely be putting the stock more down than up, likely, on the average episode.
Right. The general sentiment on this podcast about Subway is pretty negative.
I think it's interesting. I think it's a fascinating, sector.
Do you guys cover Jared?
He comes up.
It's hard to ignore.
What's he up to? Is he in jail?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's incarcerated
forever.
He's making prison sandwiches now.
Yeah,
is he going to die in there? What's the deal?
Noodles and putting those in sandwiches.
Or stewing them in the toilet or something.
Jared Fogle.
I mean, this is great.
Oh my God,
for your next piece on New York Magazine. You know what I mean?
I honestly forgot that his thing was that he lost weight from Subway. That was like that was why he was famous.
Yeah, dude. Who knew that eating as much sandwich as possible could make you smaller?
Wait, I feel like Subway has gotten rid of the fact that they're healthy. I feel like in recent memories, that's not the deal anymore. Right?
I think they hard pivoted.
Yeah, I think it's more about the freshness of it now, but I think the health like the H word is banned in corporate.
Yeah,
they're not allowed to use that in marketing materials.
Mhm.
Oh, they're not even allowed to.
Likely
assumption.
no. I think they've gone full sport mode. I think they're like, we are the game day fuel for whatever the sport you're doing is. Like, if you want to run the entire pitch, you better have 12 inches of sandwich in your stomach to fuel you across it.
But you know what I'm loving on this website, this Subway.com? That I'm loving when, and I love this, and this is honestly when I would get Subway. I love like when you get a sandwich that's this big, you know, like a little bite. You know what I'm?
Like a party size finger sandwich. Maybe
Yeah.
you might find at the Centurion Lounge or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like the third plating at the 7-course dinner is this little sandwich.
Something like that.
Eh.
Or just like getting a sample size, like when you're getting like when you eat like a 3-inch. Is that crazy? Like 4-inch, so like a little cut in half one, and then you end up eating more sandwich than you would have anyway but you go to a big platter and there's like different options.
Yeah, sometimes the 3 inch is all you need. It's enough to satisfy the craving and get the job done.
I don't think anyone needs more than 3 inches, but Big Way wants to convince us that we need all 12.
Oh my God, this is wrong. Wait, sorry, I'm looking at the website. I'm sorry if this is derailing it. No bready bowls? This is wrong. It looks really upsetting.
Please expand.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Have you guys not looked into this? Wait, it's basically like a salad with deli meat on top.
What? We've never heard of this. 300 episodes
Wait,
deep.
go to subway.com, and then I guess you have to do en/-us because I'm in the United States. They might not have it in Canada, but they have a sign called No Bready Bowls, and it's even has a trademark. I'm not kidding. It says the Reserve logo on there, and it's, oh my God, this is so wrong, but I definitely want one.
It's the bowl option. Oh, I see. Yeah, Bready bowls.
Oh, it's literally called the No Bready Bowl.
No bready bowls. Like to be like, I think it's like a play on bread bowl. That is wrong.
When you said no bready bowls, I thought you were expecting to find bready bowls, and you were shocked that there were none.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean they got rid of the bready bowls? Dude, that's crazy that they can offer no bready bowls side by side a foot-long churro. Like, are they healthy or are they not? Pick one.
That's crazy. You know, I went down a TikTok rabbit hole recently of watching people make deli meat at home. Do you know how they make deli meat?
I'm aware of how the sausage is made, but no further deli meats.
Mm-hmm.
So deli meat is essentially sausage, but blended so finely, like into a true liquid. Like a sausage is sort of chunky and then they case it. Deli meat is like they're blending it essentially into truly into a liquid, and then they encase it and gets hard again.
What? It's like sausage pulp?
Yeah, it's pulp. Like deli meat is.
Huh.
It's like it's. I can't think of a better equivalent. Yeah, but it's like what a turkey doesn't look like. Like how do you think they're making that shape? This like giant hunk like thing of that they shave.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense because like the ham as well. It's just a pink anonymous blob. You know what I mean?
Right. That's not what ham looks like. Actually, you don't think they're taking out the bones? No, they're just getting the meat off and blending it as crazy as they can.
No, exactly. Like prosciutto is coming from the pig. I'm guessing, right?
Potentially.
Whereas
you have to assume.
One would assume, and I guess the overlords at Subway are taking the pig, throwing it in the Vitamix, and liquefying it.
Mm-hmm. But what I don't get about it is if they have the ability to mold it to any shape, like we're pretty, as a society, proficient with plastics. Why do we make it a blob? You could turn the ham into back into the shape of a pig or literally any other appealing shape. We could have a whole creative industry around reshaping meat with this pulp, but it's non-existent. I think there's a market for that.
Okay.
I think so too. I think it comes back to food corporations, like not like real farmers or anything like that, but like food mega corporations that are taking the final product and positioning it as far as possible away from the actual animal, so that people are more likely to consume it and maybe disassociate any like hard feelings that there might be, right?
Yeah.
So if the ham doesn't look like anything, the
Right,
chicken,
that's true. Like you don't want it to look like anything.
This is
yeah,
so sweet.
it's better to put that in my sandwich because I feel like I'm just eating like spam or something, like
Right.
play food.
Yeah. Play-Doh. Damn. Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
I can see the writing gears turning in your head, Zach. What are you thinking right now? Is this inspiring for a piece, or how can we workshop a Subway article for you?
I definitely do not. I don't get to. I don't get the final say on what I get to write, and so I think there is no chance that the people above me would ever be interested in a Subway article unless there's other breaking news like Jared again.
Right.
Right.
So unless there's news like Jared again,
That
That's-
makes a lot of sense.
That's pretty interesting. How do you receive like requests to write? Like, how does that process work?
like PR requests, like from like
Or just from your boss? I'm not sure who that is, but
oh yeah, from my boss. I mean, that sort of thing is like they'll say, they'll be like, "Does this look interesting to you?" And then I'll look into it, and then that sort of becomes a conversation. Or I'll see something and I'll say, "Okay, this looks interesting to me. Can I write about this?" I'm not sure. I mean, in theory, I guess there is some sort of Subway angle. This bready bowl. I will say sometimes, like for example, they had me try if Subway did something really disgusting, there's a chance that I could get to try it.
Mm.
Like when Starbucks did the olive oil drinks, I went and tried all the olive oil drinks.
yeah.
I drank one of those last night. I would love your take on it.
One of them I didn't mind. I don't remember which one. One of them I didn't mind. For the most part, they were foul.
I watched my barista shake it like a cocktail shaker, and I thought, well, at least it's worth the money if a human has to move their arms.
If he has to get the points on his Fitbit on it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that might be self-initiated. Interesting.
No, yeah. If they did something really gross, maybe.
I mean, there's no shortage of those opportunities. I mean, I don't know if you've
What
been
was the whole thing with Subway? Was there a whole thing where they had bread on the ground? Was that Subway?
It's very plausible.
Yeah. I would believe it, but
Yeah.
There was a
firsthand.
Okay, yeah, there was a controversy. Subway bread, that they were storing the bread on the ground.
No way. How did this miss our desk?
I mean, you're here to hear first, folks. Subway storing the bread on the ground. I'm assuming in a box at least.
Hopefully.
Oh no, maybe that's no. I think it was that. Yeah, they store them on the ground. I don't remember what it is. I gotta find it. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Anyways, they have no shortage of controversies. The tuna was being questioned. The authenticity of the tuna.
Mm-hmm. We'll never really know.
The sugar content of the bread makes it a dessert in Ireland.
Yeah,
legally speaking.
Cake. Yeah,
that is awesome.
Right, and
cake.
But in
Yeah, it's
America,
cake.
they don't put sugar in it. They put yoga mat microplastics in it too.
That I just saw.
Yeah. So I mean, take your pick, man. There's you can probably do one essay on all of these things.
I don't think the most interesting part about Subway though is its relationship with controversy. I think it's its relationship with human identity. Every person that goes into Subway is making a sandwich themselves that is a reflection of their desires in that moment. Maybe you got extra cheese because you're having a bad day. Maybe you got the no bready bowl because you're trying to reform how you live. It's a reflection of who you are, and it's specific to every person because everyone gets to make it themselves.
Yeah, but I think that Subway sort of has lost. I feel like Subway is not known for that anymore. I feel like Chipotle and Sweet Green and other bowl places now are more the identity thing.
Do you think it's kind of going back to our conversation with the teriyaki though? Like maybe the bowl is just too powerful. The bowl is the black hole of the food industry.
It's the vat, and also I feel like people have this Subway sandwiches. I feel like there's built-in associations of mustard goes with this kind of thing. I feel like people do have that sort of. So, whereas a bowl, it's you could do anything. People. I've ordered with people where I've witnessed my friends order sweet green salads and been I can't respect you anymore because you think that those things go together.
Mm-hmm. There's no
Whereas that's less common with a sandwich. I feel like.
Right. Sandwiches have been around too long. There's too many
Since
too
the
much-
beams.
Yeah, too many layering, too many things.
Yeah, the beams are affecting our ability to create, which is a strange outcome.
Right.
But the bowl, there's no ceiling to what you could put in a bowl at this point. You could fill it with alphagetti and like tomato slices and
Mhm.
call that a bowl.
Yeah. But how do we feel about the carb options at Subway? Because historically speaking, they've had wraps, flatbread, the footlong bun. Now they have a pretzel. There's ways to break outside the box of
Mhm.
the sandwich, the glass ceiling, if you will.
Breaking bread, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I have fallen for many eating disorder scams like flatbread in my life. So I think I've definitely eaten Subway flatbreads before.
Mhm.
Oh hell
You know,
yeah!
Yeah, I certainly have.
I don't think a Subway flatbread has graced my palate. I'm curious, like, what's the move there? Do you get just tomato slices on it and a little drizzle of the marinara?
By the way,
No, I
know
think you get.
we can dissect that, but
He's
Continue.
lying.
I know he's lying. Yeah,
I've tried to make my
he's-
own with the flatbread.
We tried to make a pizza once with the marinara. The way you like threw that out there as if you didn't try it yourself, it's hilarious.
So this podcast is like not journalistically sound.
Well, I'm here to fact check. I'm the little
Right.
like flag on Twitter that says that's false.
Right. Okay.
Maybe I've had something similar to this. I black out every time I'm in the podcasting booth.
Were you originally the co-host, or were you brought in to fact check?
I'm here purely for journalistic integrity. So
Right.
I'm
Okay.
actually a subcontractor, and we are unionized. I'm happy to say.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank God.
Mhm.
And I guess health insurance is not a big part of your union because you're in Canada.
Yeah, we don't need that. We can just walk
it's
in,
not a part of your
get
contract.
caught up with Ozempic and head out.
Okay,
Mhm.
right. Subway should start giving out Ozempic as sort of like a new Jared.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that too.
Today I'll opt out of the cookie, but maybe I'll get 300 cc's of Ozempic.
I'll get the shot. Yeah, I think that's good.
There's a lemongrass shot, there's a wheatgrass shot, and then there's
Right,
the shot.
a B12 shot or whatever it is.
Exactly. So yeah, flatbread. Tell us about it.
Mm-hmm. What's your take?
What's the
I have no recollection, but I definitely know that as a adolescent, insecure, closeted gay man, I was like, yeah, I guess I should be thin, so I gotta eat flatbread. So I feel like that was the choice I made.
So was the logic like flat bread, flatter stomach?
I think it's just like smaller, reduced, less.
less
lesser.
of
Yeah, less
That
of.
makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that flatbread does play in that
It's like
area.
physically less.
Mhm.
Which of course we know is a myth because, like, for example, I mean, I'm Jewish and matzah is like very calorically dense, very thin. So not,
It feels like the flatbread is just literally a condensed like loaf of bread. Like it's like someone
Yeah.
sat on it kind of. And so it's like the same.
and that I'm sure that's how they make it.
Yeah,
Mhm, probably.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, I don't know. It's hindsight's 2020, obviously, but
Mhm, we
yeah,
all
I
fell for
can-
flatbread.
I can see Subway, the marketing team, being like, "Here, let's introduce this new thing to further ourselves in this, I don't know, journey to appear as healthy."
Mhm. Now that you're like out of your flatbread era, do you have what's your favorite food right now, Zach?
I mean, one of my favorite. It's funny that you say Subway now has this. I definitely will check it out. One of my favorite foods is pretzels and soft pretzels specifically. But I've seen other Auntie Anne's and I don't love Auntie Anne's, so that might disqualify it for me. My favorite food right now.
That's a pretzel brand.
It's so hard to say.
Do you
My
like the
favorite
pretzels
food?
because you like that Malden salt burn on your mouth? See what I did there?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
I used to think that pretzels were just bread that you put salt on. I didn't know that you had to like do an egg wash and put them in baking soda.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I made pretzels once. It was tough. The hardest part is actually tying the knot because it's really goopy. So you're kind of
Right.
like working with like pizza dough, but trying
It's
to
like doing a balloon animal.
Yeah, giving it shape. Yeah, it's very circus-like.
Yeah.
It's also the easiest balloon animal to make. It's like, guys, I fucked up, so here's a pretzel.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the default.
Brilliant.
Cool. I could be into pretzels. I'm in a salty era right now. I'm digging olives a lot. I'm enjoying like just cracking a few. I feel like maybe it comes with age where you start losing your taste buds. I've just been cracking a little extra Malden on my meals lately. Feel like a deer.
It's a nice addition.
A deer. I like Malden. Yeah.
I have an important question for you, Zach. With your ongoing series of getting into hard to get into restaurants, what is the Mecca? Is Carbone could be the one in New York, but abroad, what are we thinking? Is it Noma perhaps, or
Well, Noma's closing. Nobu I would never. My friend has like a never-ending gift card there. Her parents keep giving her gift cards there.
beautiful.
I guess. Well, also, I mean, I guess I'll let you guys in on a little secret for whenever this comes out. It might not come out at the same time, but that Carbone was the Mecca, and the series is changing in the new in the new year. So this video I told you about at this restaurant that was a club, that's the beginning of a new series. So the
cool.
Carbone was the end, just because it sort of became repetitive with the getting into the restaurants, where it's like, it's like there's not. And I also think restaurants sort of caught on that, like. And I think a lot of them have changed their reservation policies. So not to be like I did it, but everyone's welcome. So the Mecca, I think, a rezo. I think I do think that like Carbone was definitely the most requested one,
Nice.
and I have no interest in going there. I don't think the food is that good, probably.
Yeah,
likely not.
Yeah, I had a res, to quote you, at the one in Vegas, and things happened and I wasn't able to go. But it made me think, like, does Vegas just kind of like carbon copy other places and then do like a Vegas version of them?
It totally does. They have a Nobu now too. Everyone
that's the whole deal.
In Vegas says it's mids.
Everything's like I feel like I'm in a, you see the city in
but
China.
Not the Sphere. That is awesome, and we got to get one of those in New York. I'm desperate for one of those to be in New York.
It'll look like your podcasting microphone.
Yeah. Oh my. That would be my dream. Are you kidding? If they have to bring a Sphere to New York, it's the only option to save New York City.
Yeah, get rid of that stinking MSG and just put a big glowing sphere in the middle.
They will never get rid of that thing. I would love that.
Wow.
But yeah, it's kind of like those Chinese cities where they like replicate another famous city in the world. Have you seen that? With like a fake Eiffel Tower in the middle. That's like, to me, what Vegas restaurants are.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, it's all Vegas is the simulation. It is this. It's like genetically modified food of cities.
Yeah, literally.
Well, don't say that, because there is some good stuff in Vegas, and there's something fun about, like.
Oh, it's fun.
I don't know. And I think there's creativity there. They're like willing to like make food that's disgusting and fun.
Yeah,
right. There's the shock value to that for sure. And like a fun narrative that unfolds when you go out. You're going to be surprised no matter what.
Yes.
A friend of the pod, Jason Stewart, wrote a article on Grub Street about horses, and
in Los Angeles,
on Sunset.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, I love his podcast. Has he been on the podcast?
Yeah,
he has. Yeah.
I think he probably. I tweeted at him once because I think he doesn't. I don't think it was well received. I would love to be a guest on that podcast because I think I'm the first ever gay guy that could teach those two some manners.
We'll pass it on.
Wait, what was? They had
and talk about someone who I think would order a flatbread at Subway. Chris Black. That guy would order Chris Black is walking into a Subway and ordering shredded lettuce on a flatbread.
Yeah, he seems like a veggie delight kind of guy.
Dude, bro's counting carbs for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, respect.
No, he's getting a bready bowl. He's actually getting a bready bowl. Seriously.
Yeah, half size.
Yeah. God, that podcast is that podcast makes me laugh. Oh my God.
What makes you laugh? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
How Long Gone?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Fantastic body of work.
I'm gonna teach the two of them some manners.
I love it. What's one piece of advice you'd give those two gents on being more polite?
Ask your guests questions.
Yeah. Would you like to say more?
No, I think that's where I'd start.
Kind of BS.
I genuinely love that podcast. I'm a huge fan. I love the way they talk to people.
We are as well.
Yeah, we are
we're
as
big
well.
fans.
Big fans.
But how would you compare us to them in terms of just ability to get along?
Oh, you guys think you look like them? Is that the thing?
No.
Oh,
We just have a podcast with two bros.
You
on
sort
it.
of do look a little. You do look a little like them.
we're like
Just
the slightly smaller, slightly more Canadian version, slightly less.
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How could you make yours more like them?
No. We don't need to do that. We're thinking about. You mentioned that they are impolite, or like not your words, but something along those lines.
Yeah.
How do we compare to them? Who would you rather go to
Oh,
Subway
I think
with?
you guys have had wonderful manners. Tremendous.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much. We
Yeah,
appreciate.
that's the Canadian thing, of course.
It probably is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just a little bit more racist. I'm just kidding. So, okay, I actually want to get back to the article that Jason wrote. He mentioned that a lot of good restaurants would benefit from a controversy because then it kind of opens up the resi. You know what I mean? Like it allows other people to come in and get to experience the restaurant. Maybe it's more the consumer that will benefit from that. But what do you think? Is Carbone ripe for a domestic abuse
a little
allegation?
shake up, yeah. Grub Street would like it.
Oh, they would be frothing at the mouth.
Yeah. Wait, I might have to hop off in a sec. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Is Carbone ready for a major controversy in order to open up the resi?
No, because everyone who goes there doesn't care. I think Horses was different. I think Horses was like a very different crowd. Like I think Horses was a crowd that cared about restaurants. I think the crowd that goes to Carbone doesn't care.
No,
Like
they
the
just want
crowd that goes to Carbone, like people who go to Carbone don't care about restaurants.
Right.
they want the pick of the spicy rig.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't care. So I don't think that they would be deterred at all.
Right.
Makes sense.
If anything, controversy might fuel attention to it.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's like you feel naughty going there.
Yeah. The subway effect.
Absolutely. Zach, we don't want to keep you if you have stuff to do, but we
No, I'm
really
so sorry. I'm just still working, but this has been amazing. I'm the one being rude with no manners. That I'm getting messages from work while I'm doing this. Crazy.
No, you're giving your time to us, and we really appreciate it.
the listeners had no clue that you were typing, but it's all good. We really appreciate the time, and especially on a Friday afternoon, taking away from your busy work schedule. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
You guys are amazing. This has been incredible. I hope I was amazing. I assume I was.
you were fantastic, and our listeners, our loyal breadheads, probably have very much enjoyed having you on here. Is there any parting words you want to share with them before we jump off?
Parting words. I don't know, like support Teriyucky, I guess. Like, let's make this comeback happen. It has to happen from the groundswell. Like, I'm not saying hibachi. I'm saying teriyaki bowls, that sort of thing. So let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
It's making me think you're in the pockets of Big Yaki.
Mm-hmm. This episode was sponsored by Big Yucky.
All right.
All right, Zach. Thank you so much for joining us today. Breadheads, thank you for listening. Think fresh, everybody. Ciao.